So we're already in paper 11 of our URANTIA book, and the title is The Eternal Isle of Paradise. Just hearing the word eternal, or I'm already synced into this lush, kingdomish type of sweetness. Eternal Isle of Paradise. But word becoming flesh. Paradise is the eternal center of the universe of universes and the abiding place of the universal Father. Oh my God, I want to cry now. Oh, brr. Abiding place of the universal Father, the eternal Son, and the infinite Spirit. Ta-da! And their divine coordinates and associates. This central isle is the most gigantic organized body of cosmic reality in all the master universe.
Mm.
Is this a good tempo, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
That was so good in the
Perfect.
course of love, how we really slowed it down and how different that chapter was to just
Mm.
read so
Yeah.
slow. It's like, whoa, it's like two different texts, no?
Mm.
Like it just can't sink in and it can't reverberate the message. Like the will has no chance to reflect to us what it's all about. Paradise is a material sphere as well as a spiritual abode. That's amazing. It's a material sphere.
Mm.
All of the intelligent creation of the Universal Father is domicile on material abodes. Hence, as the absolute controlling center also be material, literal. And again, it should be reiterated that spirit things and spiritual beings are real. They're just not as dense as we are, and material, but I guess not as dense and slow as we are. The material beauty of paradise consists of magnificence of its physical perfection. The grandeur of the Isle of God is exhibited in the superb intellectual accomplishments and mind development of its inhabitants. The glory of the central isle is shown forth in the infinite endowment of divine spiritual personality,
Spirit personality.
spirit
Um,
personality. Thank you, darling. The light of life. But the depth of the spiritual beauty and the wonder is this magnificent ensemble of this magnificent ensemble are utterly beyond the comprehension of the finite mind of material creatures.
I'm sure.
Yes, and yet we are given glimpses,
Mm.
we're given glimpses to whatever, because it's such a different frequency that if it reverberates in us, it feels almost like our density feels too gross to be able to experience it. And yet, once the glimpse comes, it just does. Hey,
Yep.
just like Alison, like last time, you were just reading something and you just couldn't stop laughing.
Mm.
It's what happens when it happens. Like there is something that ignites within you, right?
Yeah. It's unexplainable.
Just like it says in here, like it's beyond, like it happens to you and you just go, what the actual, yeah. But it informs, doesn't it? In some way, it informs you of itself.
Yeah, I can't even it's there's no it either.
Yes,
It's not like I don't feel like this. Yeah, I
Mm.
the closest I can come is suddenly I feel very happy and something seems incredibly funny and I have no idea what
right.
that
Mm.
is.
Yeah, kind of transcends the, yeah.
Nothing to do with the thinking human mind.
Yeah,
Zero.
because it's unspeakable. What does that mean? Unspeakable. You can't describe it, can you? The glory of and spiritual splendor of the divine abode are impossible of mortal comprehension. The paradise is from eternity,
And
huh?
and paradise.
And paradise is from eternity. There is neither records nor traditions respecting the original, respecting the origin of this nuclear isle of light and life.
Mm. No records or traditions. That's interesting, isn't it? Mm.
Where was that, honey?
There's no records nor traditions respecting the origin
Oh,
of that place. Yeah, it's interesting.
mm-hmm,
Well, it's from eternity. Where how would you how would
Mm.
you
mm-hmm,
symbolize it?
mm-hmm. Exactly. How would you symbolize it if it's unspeakable? Mm.
Mm. Don't know. I'm thinking there must be a way. Must be a way.
Also,
Yeah.
if there is the eternal now, which is the
Mm.
constant, how could there be a tradition if you're in the now? You're creating in this very moment a brand new thing that wasn't before.
Mm.
Like when we stop projecting from the past on the present and trying to define it, then the present begins to reveal itself way more than um,
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, my understanding of it is somehow If you're in, if you're there in paradise, you're able to have direct experience. You don't need things that describe or,
Mm.
what
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is.
yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Anybody else would like to read the Divine Residence and to find out what it's about?
Okay. One, the divine residence.
Mm.
Paradise serves many purposes in the administration of the universal realms, but to creature beings, it exists primarily as the dwelling place of deity. The personal presence of the Universal Father is resident at the very centre of the upper surface of this well-nigh circular, but not spherical, abode of the deities. I don't know what that means. Anyway, this paradise presence of the Universal Father is immediately surrounded by the personal presence of the Eternal Son, while they are both invested by the unspeakable glory
Ah,
of the infinite Spirit.
wow. Unspeakable glory.
Mm.
Mm.
God dwells, has dwelt, and everlastingly will dwell in this same central and eternal abode. We have always found him there and always will. The Universal Father is cosmically focalized, spiritually personalized, and geographically resident at this center of the universe of universes.
Mm.
Mm. We all know the direct course to pursue to find the Universal Father. You are not able to comprehend much about the divine residence because of its remoteness from you and the immensity of the intervening space. But those who are able to comprehend the meaning of these enormous distances know God's location and residence just as certainly and literally as you know the location of New York, London, Rome, or Singapore. Cities definitely and geographically located on Urantia. If you were an intelligent navigator equipped with ship, maps, and compass, you could readily find these cities.
Mm.
Likewise, if you had the time and means of passage, were spiritually qualified, and had the necessary guidance, you could be piloted through universe upon universe and from circuit to circuit, ever journeying inward through the starry realms until at last you would stand before the central shining of the spiritual glory of the Universal Father. I wonder if that's what happens in near-death experiences.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to go through all these galaxies, don't they, some of them? Yeah,
Absolutely. And they
yeah.
they always come out and they touch somewhere where it's so tangible.
Mm,
They really speak from something that's so not of this world.
Yes. Whew.
Mm,
Provided with all the necessities for the journey, it is just as possible to find the personal presence of God at the center of all things as to find distant cities on your own planet. That you have not visited these places in no way disproves their reality or actual existence. That so few of the universe creatures have found God on paradise in no way disproves either the reality of his existence or the actuality of his spiritual person at the center of all things.
mm,
The Father is always to be found at his central location. Did he move, universal pandemonium would be precipitated. For there converge in him at this residential centre the universal lines of gravity from the ends of creation. Gosh.
mm,
Whether we trace the personality circuit back through the universes or follow the ascending personalities as they journey inward to the Father, whether we trace the lines of material gravity to nether paradise or follow the insurging cycles of cosmic force. Oh, whether we trace the lines of spiritual gravity to the eternal sun or follow the inward processional of the paradise sons of God, whether we trace out the mind circuits or follow the trillions upon trillions of celestial beings who spring from the infinite spirit. By any of these observations, or by all of them, we are led directly back to the Father's presence, to his central abode. Here is God personally, literally, and actually present. And from his infinite being, there flow the flood streams of life, energy, and personality to all universes. Oh, holy dooly.
Bloodstreams.
Mm.
beautiful.
So, mm,
An exquisite reading.
so many ways. Hey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I like this one, insurging cycles of cosmic force. Oh, yeah.
It's something, it's very expressive, isn't it? The writing.
Mm, beautiful. Beautiful. Come up here, Johnny. Come, come.
But this dog here again.
Ah,
It's going out, going in, going out, going in. Like,
yes. Mm.
Shall I read the next section?
sure.
Yeah, go. And yeah.
2. Nature of the Eternal Isle.
Mm.
Okay. since you are beginning to glimpse, since you are beginning to glimpse the enormousness of the material universe, discernible even from your astronomical location, your space position in the starry systems, it should become evident to you that such a tremendous material universe must have an adequate and worthy capital, a headquarters commensurate with the dignity and infinitude of the universal ruler of all this vast and far-flung creation of material realms and living beings. In form, paradise differs from the inhabited space bodies. It is not spherical. It is definitely ellipsoid, being 1/6 longer in the north-south diameter than in the east-west diameter. The central aisle is essentially flat, and the distance from the upper surface to the nether surface is 1/10 that of the east-west diameter. These differences in dimensions, taken in connection with its stationary status and the greater outpressure of force energy at the north end of the aisle, make it possible to establish absolute direction in the master universe. Ah,
I can't picture any of that at all.
you can't what?
I can't, like, I've got no clue on all that, like, dimensionally how that would look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can do a drawing of that from what
Really?
they've
Oh,
given very easily.
oh, no. It's gobbledygook to me.
So it's like it's a like a long circle, kind of like that shape, not a circle,
Mm,
but and it's essentially flat, but there is a higher point, and from the highest point in the center of it, when it's flat like that, to the
mm.
lowest point is 1/10 of the um is 1/10 of that diameter, of the diameter of that way. So anyway, it's just like,
Right.
I mean, but interesting, the greater outpressure, these differences in dimensions taken in connection with its stationary status and the greater outpressure of force energy at the north end of the aisle make it possible to establish absolute direction in the master universe. Space is supposed to be very difficult to, for humans anyway, to navigate because of the three-dimensionality of it. Whereas I remember just seeing something about how difficult it is to dock something in space, for a craft to come in and dock something because of you know, it's completely different from on the planet here.
Mm.
But you have to have something that gives direction, or it would be impossible to navigate space, is what they're saying, I suppose. The central aisle is geographically divided into three domains of activity: upper paradise, peripheral paradise, nether paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Nether, I suppose, means outer.
Mm.
We speak of that surface of paradise which is occupied with personality activities as the upper side, and the opposite surface as the nether side. The periphery of paradise provides for activities that are not strictly personal or non-personal. The Trinity seems to dominate the personal or upper plane. The unqualified absolute, the nether or impersonal plane. Unqualified absolute. We hardly conceive of the unqualified absolute as a person, but we do think of the functional space presence of this absolute as focalized on nether paradise. The eternal isle is composed of a single form of materialization. Stationary systems of reality. This literal substance of paradise is a homogeneous
Homogeneous.
organization. It's
Homogeneous.
got an E in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Homogeneous
Yeah,
organization
homogeneous.
of space potency, not to be found elsewhere. I'm going to start that one again. This literal substance of paradise is a homogeneous organization of space potency, not to be found elsewhere in all the wide universe of universes. It has received many names in different universes, and the Melchizedeks of Nebadon long since named it Absolutum. The paradise source material is neither dead nor alive. It is the original non-spiritual expression of the first source and center. It is paradise, and paradise is without duplicate. It appears to us that the first source and center has concentrated all absolute potential for cosmic reality in paradise. As a part of his technique of self-liberation from infinity limitations. As a means for making possible sub-infinite, even time-space creation. But it does not follow that paradise is time-space limited just because the universe of universes discloses these qualities. Paradise exists without time and has no location in space. No understanding. Okay, roughly, space seemingly originates just below nether paradise. Time just above paradise, just above upper paradise. Time, as you understand it, is not a feature of paradise existence, though the citizens of the Central Isle are fully conscious of non-time sequence of events. Motion is not inherent on paradise, it is volitional. But the concept of distance, even absolute distance, has very much meaning as it may be applied to relative locations on paradise. Paradise is non-spatial, hence its areas are absolute and therefore serviceable in many ways beyond the concept of mortal mind.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Here we are.
Yeah, beyond concept of mortal mind. And
Yeah, let's not bother trying to understand that.
now at the same time, like I would invite when you don't understand something, simply step back and go, God, what is this? Or a thought adjuster or Holy Spirit, or whatever apparently praying to, like
Mm,
ask and you shall receive. It's like that's my experience with this. It's like I just I'm open to any of this. Like got no filters. I just like give it to me and give me also the experience of it. Don't just give me mental, you know,
mm,
Mm.
filling in the mind with more information. Well, we already know that we have amazing experiences the more we actually let go of, which is of the old, that the new can then reveal itself. And this is that way. I also
mm.
want to mention something interesting that I always found fascinating. When we get to chapter 4, but I jump in because it's such an important thing. Do you mind if I read you something? This is from
No,
chapter
sure.
14, and there's this
Chapter 14 of what?
Paper 14?
paper
A paper.
14. It's in a paper 14, 2, 3, but you don't have to go there. I just want to bring something up, which I always find incredible because they talk about this different sensation stimuli. Like there are different sort of readers within you. If they're not activated, you can't see. Like they basically say, if you just came on Havana right now, you wouldn't see anything.
Mm.
Maybe you would have think you're on Mars or somewhere, you know.
Mm.
Uh, but as we develop these sensations, I'll read this to you because that will like explain it to you a little bit. Material of Havana consists of the organization of the exactly 1,000 basic chemical elements and the balance functions of the seven forms of Havana energy. Each of these basic energies manifests seven phases of excitation so that the Havana natives respond to 49 different sensation stimuli. See, I think these things have not been in us yet activated, you see?
Mm.
You know,
Just like
in
when
other,
when we go to other planets, like on the moon, there could be
yeah,
all sorts of beings there. We can't perceive them,
it's,
so we
it's
think
like
there's nothing there.
exactly
Yeah.
like when my mind cracked open, I'm going like, wow, there is so much more. But then when my will cracked open, I'm going like, wow, I can now sense things that before I did not know could be sensed. It could be
Mm.
felt, could be
Mm.
Mm,
experienced. Yeah.
yeah.
In other words, viewed from a purely physical standpoint, the natives of the central universe possess 49 special forms of sensation. The Morontia senses are 70, and the higher spiritual orders of reaction response vary in different types of being from 70 to 210. Okay?
Mm.
I think we have these centers within ourselves that as we as we clear the lower level of thinking and begin to perceive differently, you know,
Mm,
Mm.
and really truly know how to be present in spheres that are that we're not accustomed being in.
Oh, we can't even do it on Earth yet.
And well, I think there the glimpses come. I think these, where we have these moments when we just can't begin to rejoice extremely. I mean, for me, it just always increases in vibration. Is that some of these stimuli are being stimulated in order to perceive and
Mm.
see things that are, you know, that are not seen with physical eyes.
Oh, right, by the mere reading and study
Yeah, just like
of
when,
this sort of stuff.
just
Yeah.
coming back to that experience, we had one in A Curse of Love where I said, well, trying to see, trying to see the goodness in the other person or see their light. Yeah. And you said, I have to close my eyes to see that.
Yeah, that was seen from the heart.
That
Yeah.
was the seeing from the heart. And that's just like the heart. And within the
Mm.
heart, there are many more stimuli that as they awaken, we begin to see clearer. But then same thing is in the will, from my experience, where the whole feeling realm becomes so alive.
Mm.
It becomes so alive within and so informative, like it informs the
Mm.
mind of things that mind could not possibly perceive because it had no eyes to see and no ears to hear.
Mm. Yes, if you're with someone who's got no idea what they're feeling, then you're deaf, dumb, and blind to a huge area
Mhm.
of what's happening. Yes. Yeah.
Listen to this one. I just do one more. It's a short one. None of the physical beings of the central universe would be visible to Urantians.
Yes.
Neither would any of the physical stimuli of these faraway worlds excite a reaction in your gross sense of organs.
Mm.
If a
Eh?
Urantia, eh?
I
Yeah.
was just, it keeps coming up. I've had experiences, recently of feeling the presence of something else, feeling someone touch me, and
Yep,
I can't. There's no one I can see there, but I felt the presence of someone,
absolutely.
Mm.
and it's not frightening at all. It's just this,
Beautiful,
oh.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So there is an opening. It's very slow though, but yeah.
Well, Steiner talks about developing different organs in the body, like they change, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's
Mm.
interesting, isn't it? But
Yeah.
obviously, it's a very long process.
But
Yeah.
it's just to open that gate. Like for me, this is
Mm.
what this does. It's like it informs, it puts a stimuli through words, but then those words get transferred into an experience. That's how I hear. That's why we can read and read and somehow I feel so full and I might even not fully comprehend what we said, but there is a certain experiential something within begins to awaken to the as if the inner eye sees it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I think somewhere there is a kingdom of heaven is an image of some kind, but it's not. It's
Mm.
like an inner sanctum when it begins to reverberate and reveal itself when we are forgiven enough and empty it our mind and stop buying into projections and judgments and grievances. Yeah. It clears the
Mm.
pathway and it opens different eye. It opens the inner eye that's not two eyes, only one eye. Let me just read this tiny little bit here. If a Urantia mortal could be transported to Havana, he would be deaf, blind, and utterly lacking in all other sense reactions. He could only function as a limited, self-conscious being deprived of all environmental stimuli and all reactions here too. I love this.
That makes Helen Keller sound rather um,
Yeah, exactly.
more capable than that.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
again, like in the Bible, the healings of people being blind and deaf, and it's like has more meaning. Like it's not the physical
Yes.
sight they're talking about.
Mm.
It's another type of seeing.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm.
Like we have all these images of Jesus, but hey, a resurrected bodies, that image is long dead.
Mm.
And how many images of Jesus we have?
Mm.
As many as you like.
Mm.
Yeah, well, as many as there are people who have heard of him.
Yeah. And yet, when the encounter happens, it's because nothing to do with bodies at all. But the presence, oh my God. Huh? All right, darlings.
Mm.
This is lovely. Shall we go on?
Yeah.
How's the time going?
9:24. You guys having your meeting today?
We are, but I'm quite close. Yeah,
Okay, you don't have to rush.
you don't have to be there on the dot, you know.
So shall I read the Upper Paradise?
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure. Yeah.
On the Upper Paradise, there are three grand spheres of activity. God, show me this, you know?
Mm.
The deity presence, the most holy sphere, and the holy area. Oh my God. Not just one, three. The vast region immediately surrounding the presence of the deities is set aside as most holy sphere and is reserved for the function of worship, trinitization, and high spiritual attainment. There are no material structures, nor purely intellectual creation in this zone. Wow.
Mhm.
There are no material structures, fact, nor purely intellectual creation in this zone.
Creations.
They could not exist there. It is useless for me to undertake a portrait to the human mind, the divine nature of the beauteous,
And
huh?
And
and
And the beauteous grandeur of the most holy sphere of paradise. This realm is wholly spiritual, and you are almost wholly material. A purely spiritual reality is, to a purely material being, apparently non existent.
mm.
Wow, so beautiful. Oh. While there are no physical materializations of the area of the most holy, there are abundant souvenirs of your material days in the Holy Land sectors and still more in the reminiscent historic areas of peripheral paradise.
Souvenirs.
Where do they get these words from? Like, how do you fit that into that, you know? The holy area, the outlying or a residential region, is divided into 7 concentric zones. Paradise is sometimes called the Father's house, since it is his eternal residence, and those 7 zones are often designated the, the Father's paradise mansions.
Mm.
Mhm. The inner of the first zone is occupied.
orphans.
The inner or first zone.
Oh yeah, the inner or first zone is occupied by paradise citizens and the natives of Havana who may chance to be dwelling on paradise. The next or second zone is the residential area of the natives of the 7 superuniverses of time and space. The second zone is a part is in part subdivided into seven immense
Immense.
divisions. Even if I corrected myself, I don't think I'll beat you guys to it. Into seven immense divisions. The paradise home of the spirit beings and ascendant cultures who hail
Creatures.
Creatures.
creatures who hail from the universe, evolutionary progression.
Oh,
Each of
dear.
these sectors is exclusively dedicated to the welfare and advancement of the personalities of a single universe, super universe. But these facilities are almost infinitely beyond the requirements of the present seven super universes. Each of the seven sectors of paradise is subdivided into residential units suitable for the lodgement headquarters of 1 billion glorified individual working groups.
Working groups, not just individuals.
No, working groups. 1,000 of these units constitute a division. 100,000 divisions equal one congregation. 10 million congregations constitute an assembly. 1 billion assemblies make one grand unit. And this ascending series continues through the second grand unit, the third, and so on to the seventh grand unit. And seven of the grand units make up the master units, and seven of the master units constitute a superior unit. And thus, by the seventh of ascending series expands through the superior, super superior, celestial, super celestial, to the supreme units. Jesus, when does it all end? Never.
It doesn't, Cole.
Doesn't, does it? Yeah. But even this does not utilize all the space available. The staggering materials,
Number.
this, this staggering,
Slow down.
this staggering number of residential designation on paradise, a number beyond your concept, occupies considerably less than 1% of the assigned area of the Holy Land. There is still plenty of room for those who are on their way inward, even for those who shall not start the paradise climb until the times of the eternal future.
Mm.
Whew, that's pretty full on, isn't it?
Yeah. Gosh. Mm.
Amazing.
Just, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
The numbers on people on Earth must seem just minuscule. Like, you know, so few compared to this.
Oh.
Mm. Did you, Kim, did you have a listen to that recording that Kevin put up on the religious experiences
Oh, I have
book?
made a start. Yes. It's actually quite easy to listen to. I thought it would be more difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Well,
that,
not
it's not,
easy, but yeah, I thought it would be harder to
I found
listen.
it very soothing and I actually had dozed off a little bit, but I was listening. He makes a strange sound every so often. Did you notice?
No, I haven't noticed that yet.
Oh, you
It
you
goes
go,
for
what is
hours
that?
and hours, doesn't it? It's like 4 hours or something.
6.
7 hours.
Or
7 hours.
7 hours, yeah.
Oh, maybe once it slowed down to 7 hours and something.
I
I
I
slowed it
cou-
down to three-quarter speed because it was, yeah, that seemed to be about right, what Kevin
I
suggested.
I couldn't find a way to slow it down. There was nothing.
You go into
Yeah,
there's a little settings cog on the screen,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you
I
go
don't
in
know.
there and you can adjust the speed, but you have to keep doing it if it when you come in, or yeah, you might have to go back and redo it at some
Yeah.
point.
It's
Yeah.
an actual application, like it's within the application of YouTube, whatever you use for watch YouTube with.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Once you're in,
Um,
I
once
think
you
I
I
watch
was
like
watching it without. When you go through Messenger, it opens it in a different way, and then it's got a thing called Open App. Maybe I needed to do that because there
Oh,
was
okay.
no.
But I'll also like that it was divided so you can go and listen to the first lecture and then you can go into the next one if you want to. Like, so it's got
Oh,
different sections you can just
right.
click on.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Although there were parts of it I didn't really understand, but I thought if I
Yeah.
could see it visually, I might be able to work it out what he was saying.
I think it'd be worth getting the book actually. Yeah.
Older, like it's an older way of expressing yourself, really, isn't it?
Energy supplies don't want you to know about this trick to warm up houses.
Sorry. Yeah. Yes, but I did. Yeah, it was. I've forgotten to go back and listen to it again. Mm.
Yeah, me too. I just remembered now.
There's just so much to listen to, isn't there?
oh yeah, gosh, so much available.
Oh, yeah,
Well, whatever makes you kind of move within, what excites you, what turns you, you know. Sometimes
mm.
I think I should be listening to something, and I'm listening to it like, wow, this is so not going anywhere.
Did you have a listen to it at all, Cole?
I did not yet.
Oh,
I did click
It
on it.
really is an eye opener. So what he's talking about in that first lecture is the different views in society, in different, from certain doctors, etc., on what spiritual experience is. And there's one that called it hysterical, like one doctor who said it was a hysterical thing. Oh, they're calling it caused by conditions of the liver or, all kinds of stuff. And he's just basically, this is a lecture about him saying, well, this clearly doesn't make any sense because if you're going to apply that to one thing, you have to apply it to another, and it clearly doesn't make sense. Anyway, it's quite interesting, but I'm really looking forward to getting on to the next thing because it's but it's an eye opener as to the
But he's very,
attitudes of people time to it as if it was a form of madness or
mm,
yeah, yeah. Anyway,
yes,
all kinds of different theories about what religious experience was.
Mm.
yes.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what he has to say about it, what he has to say about what it is.
Yeah, you wonder how many people have been locked up in psychiatric institutions for having a spiritual experience. They've been, just
Yeah,
Righteous Soul
designated
talks
as
about it.
crazy. Yeah,
Righteous Soul talks about it a lot. You know how because when your will begins to move, you might have to express some stuff that doesn't look very appealing. And
yes,
if someone observes you, they want to lock you up because they'd be terrified that you're gonna, you know,
yes.
harm somebody and yet,
Well, yes. Well, sometimes when I've sort of tried to be aware of the movement and sound I'm making, well, when it's just happening spontaneous, I look crazy. You look absolutely nuts.
mm,
Like,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
All right, guys, I'm driving now, so I'll see you all later. Kim, don't be
yeah.
late, all right?
Oh, well, I'll get there when
Good
I
luck with
get
that
there,
one.
you
Yeah.
know.
Say hello
And
to
you,
everyone for me.
So you can,
okay, I
yeah.
might need your, I need your support, Kim.
What was that?
I need your support on me.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Who else is in the group?
Oh, different
Kim can
people
come. Yeah,
attend. I think Kate's going to be there.
Oh yeah,
and
Um,
Teresa.
from other groups.
Yeah,
um, yeah. They're all Course in Miracles people. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you better go, Kim. You can't leave poor Kevin on his own there.
You've been before on your own and survived.
yeah, 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 yeah,
No, I will
yeah.
go, but I can't say that I'll be on time. But I will
All right,
go. Yeah. Yeah.
all right, okay,
All right. See you soon. Yeah.
okay. See you later, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye. Bye.
I like our little group.